ESPN's Shams Charania has just dropped another massive KD update, and we here at Rockets Digest are going to break down what that is and why Houston should be preparing for takeoff. This is huge news for Houston Rockets fans. Hello, everybody. I am your host, Donovan Ricondo, for Rockets Digest, where we break down the latest news, rumors, and updates regarding your H-Town team, the Houston Rockets. And we just want to say things are starting to heat up in this offseason. There's going to be a lot of news regarding your Houston Rockets and what the lineup is going to look like for next season. So for the 79.4% of you that are not subscribed but watching these videos, do yourself a favor, hit that bell so you can be notified for every single one of our uploads to stay up to date with the Rockets and so that you do not miss a thing. We have got you covered. And we got you covered for news like this. As many of you know, KD rumors and trade talks have been rampant the past few days, really starting to heat up. In my last video, I talked about how the San Antonio Spurs who are one of the teams pursuing KD and were once the favorites to acquire KD, are now out of the race. Apparently, they were not as aggressive as many thought they were or that thought that they were going to be. So now they are out of the picture. So what does that picture look like now? Well, Shams Charania dropped a bomb yesterday in terms of what is going to happen in terms of KD. When should we expect that decision? Well, he went on the Pat McAfee show and he explained just that. He had this to say on the KD trade, quote, "I think it could be even sooner than a week, maybe the next few days. We could get some Kevin Durant trade action." He then continued, "In the last 24 to 48 hours, I'm told the focus of the Suns' conversations has been on the Rockets, the Heat, and the Timberwolves." Now this is absolutely huge for Rockets fans and for people that are excited about KD. Again, people are fans of KD, people are not fans of KD. There's been some mixed reactions in terms of, whether or not people want him on the team. But the fact of the matter is, it is down to 3 teams, and one of those teams is, in fact, the Houston Rockets. Now, those other 2 teams, one we've mentioned prior, in the Minnesota Timberwolves, they are a team that is pretty set on getting KD, so we'll see what happens with them. And the other team is the Miami Heat, who recently traded away one of their best scorers in Jimmy Butler last offseason. And, I could totally see them acquiring Kevin Durant as well and pairing him up with Bam Adebayo there in Miami. So big things happening in the NBA. And so I want to go back to Shams real quick and go over one of the other quotes he said on the Pat McAfee show just yesterday, saying, quote, "He is on an expiring contract," KD talking about KD, "about $54 million. And so that could also come up as an issue here. If there is a team that for sure wants an extension, or will there be a team that just takes a swing and just banks on themselves and hope that they can potentially make a deep run and keep him there," end quote. And so that, in fact, is something to consider when teams are going after Kevin Durant, right? First and foremost, he is on that expiring contract. It's a hefty contract. He's one of the best players in the NBA, $54 million. Any team that's going to want to sign him is going to hope that they can extend him on that contract. So, so he's not, like one and done or just going to leave immediately after next season. And so there is that to take mind of in terms of the Houston Rockets and making sure that what we trade for is something that has more value than what it currently is at. And so that is something GM Rafael Stone and that front office is considering, is because you don't want to trade a lot of your young guys, people that have trades that have included Jabari Smith Jr., trades that have included Jalen Green. And so that is the other thing to consider here, right? What you're giving away and what you are taking in. And they're going to want to make sure that KD is going to be here to bring them that championship. Because make no mistake about it, they are going to, if they trade for KD, it is to bring a championship. And that is something that is a crucial detail in all this KD trade talks. And another crucial detail is what Shams said right after that. There also might be a team that just comes and swoops in and makes a motivating offer, a push offer to just say, hey, essentially, here, take everything. Hopefully, you'll stay. Well, who that team is, would, as of right now, is a mystery. I know Shams has said that 6 to 8 teams have reached out to the Phoenix Suns in terms of interest for KD. But of course, now it is boiled down to these three: the Rockets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Miami Heat. And I touched on the Miami Heat a little bit, so I also want to touch on the Minnesota Timberwolves. How would they affect the Rockets' chance of getting KD in this possible trade? Well, as I said previously in my other video, the Timberwolves have a lot of contracts that are going to the wayside that they can kind of get rid of, right? There's Julius Randle, there's Naz Reid, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who have expiring contracts, and so they are able to make a lot of salary cap room to acquire a guy like KD. Now, that would include getting rid of some of those contracts or signing people on lesser deals, which, in my opinion, is not really going to happen. I feel like if it's KD or them kind of the situation, and so to me personally, if you're asking me for my Minnesota take, I don't think that would help them at all. Pairing of KD and Anthony Edwards, and not that much depth on top of that, considering how, although they had depth this past season, that was kind of the sole reason why they did not get past the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. And so they would just be too top heavy. Whereas the Houston Rockets, it makes more sense for them because they have the depth to do that and the assets to do that. There's a lot of people high on Cam Whitmore and high on Reed Sheppard who believe that they can step into that role, especially Cam Whitmore. There's a lot of Cam Whitmore fans in this comment section that I love to see. But yes, there is a lot of that going on. But who is to say that a guy like Cam Whitmore or a guy like Reed Sheppard will not be involved in a trade for KD? So there's a lot of conversation surrounding this right now, and it quite frankly is it's exciting as a Rockets fan. It's exciting to see us being in these conversations, but at the same time, as we've talked about KD and his possibility of coming to the Houston Rockets next season, if the price is right, that is a key thing in all of this, right? And so in these next few days, right, we don't know exactly when. Some say the next week. Shams has just said that in the next few days, there are teams that have a motivational factor to do this as soon as possible, to do this before the NBA draft in later this month. And so when that decision happens, we will be here on Rockets Digest covering all of it. This will be your first source of news to give you some analysis on it, to give you the information about it and what that would be. And if that involves a KD trade, that is going to involve a KD trade. We're going to break that down. We're going to take a look at all the roster potential for next season. So I want to bring it back to you because, again, this is a channel for you guys, for the Rockets community. In the next few days, and this is a hypothetical, in the next few days, if the Houston Rockets acquire Kevin Durant, how would you feel about it? I want you all to think about that for a second, because at the end of the day, regardless of what your opinion is on KD, right, he might be a Houston Rocket next year. And I do not believe that, one player is going to change your mind on this team, right? You're still going to go for the Houston Rockets. You're still going to cheer for them. So I want to just bring that question forth, because it's been a very contentious issue throughout this entire offseason that we've seen in the comments and that we've seen on all our videos in terms of me and Jace talking about a possible trade, right? If KD was to become a Houston Rocket in the next, by Monday, what would your thoughts be on that? Would you love it? Would you hate it? Let me know in the comments. I am curious to see what all of you guys think, because as the days and as the hours pass, it is starting to become a little bit more of a reality. And if that reality becomes true, well then, by goodness, let's go out there and let's win a national championship. Let's win an NBA Finals and win a championship that this franchise has not seen in 30 years. And so it's all very exciting to be a Rockets fan right now. Let me know in the comments. And if you made it to the end of the video, that tells me you're a true Rockets fan. How about you hit that subscribe button? All right, we will see you. We'll see what happens with this developing story. I have been Donovan Ricondo for Rockets Digest. So long and adios.